Is the plan.
Live from the Lumberyard in Pullman, this is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Football Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Now, alongside Cougar head coach Jimmy Rogers, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Good evening and welcome into the Lumberyard for the Cougar Football Hour. Washington State, fresh off that victory, the family weekend win over Toledo, 28-7. An impressive win for the Cougs. Up next, heading to Corvallis to take on Oregon State. Can't wait for that. Saturday, 4:30 kickoff from Reser Stadium. Our coverage here on the Cougar Sports Network will get going at 2:30. We got a great show planned here tonight. We've got Tucker Large, Cougar safety, going to stop by and join us, and safeties coach Pete Minich will be here as well. But right next to the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. Jimmy, happy Thursday night. Here we are. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we got a victory to talk about. 28-7, the win over Toledo. Let's start with the performance of the defense, allowing just 7 points to the Rockets. This is a Toledo team that has put up some big numbers as far as they've had 45 or more points 3 times this year. What allowed the defense on Saturday to limit them to just 7?
I thought we played better together. We got them to 23rd and 4th down situations, and they got 7 of them. So that goes in your favor. We ran to the ball hard. We took the proper angles. We were able to win some one-on-one matchups and lose some one-on-one matchups. But overall, we played together, and the guys played fast. And regardless of what situation that they got put in from our offense, they consistently responded and were huge throughout the game. That was really the difference between this and some of the other ones. I would say we were kind of in a lull in some situations, and our defense has continued to rise up and respond. And our average field starting position defensively is unbelievable right now. And we need to make sure that we clean those things up and make a team have to drive the distance on us. So, I'm proud of our defense. I'm proud of the response, and we need to continue that on defense if we want to continue to have success.
And yet, even with some tough field position at time, it feels like the defense is ready and eager to go out there and answer the call, and they've continued to deliver. For the offense, we saw a season-high 162 rushing yards, even more rushing yards in that game for the Cougs than passing yards. What were your overall thoughts on how the offense did, and what was a 21-point victory?
Yeah, I was excited about, not the first 2 drives, but we went on a 3-drive spurt there where we scored the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. And going into half like that is definitely momentum. And so I was excited about some of those plays, especially the consistent drives down the field and how we were able to run the ball, the gritty yards that we were able to get in the 4th quarter there where we took close to 7 minutes off the clock when they knew that we were trying to absorb the clock, and we just consistently, monotonously drove down the field just with basic runs. I think that's a sign of a winning program when you can do that and another team knows it and they can't stop you. And we got to continue to be that way and continue to have success this way because it doesn't need to be flashy. It just needs to be a win, and we were able to run the ball well in order to do that.
You say that phrase, gritty yards, and there's a number of guys who deserve credit for that, and Zevi among them, but the first name that comes to mind for me is Kirby Voorhees. It feels like every time the ball's in his hand, he does everything possible to squeeze every yard, every inch out of every opportunity.
Yeah, he's a really competitive individual, really tough kid, hits the holes really hard, plays behind his pads, has great balance and vision. But, when you're willing to sacrifice over and over and over, good things will pop for him, and he'll continue to have huge gains in this offense. I'm excited about Leo. Leo's come on strong and continues to show up and always seems to hit a big one here or there. But he's been really consistent in the pass game, and he's definitely improved in blitz pickup and protection-wise. So his game has taken a growth, and he'll continue to see more time because of it.
A lot of credit to Leo Pulalasi from what we've seen from him. You touched on when the offense kind of started to click in that stretch of 3 straight drives and in with long touchdowns for the Cougs. Well, hitting on a 40-yard play has to feel good at any point. Is there maybe a little bit dash more of satisfaction when a flea flicker is part of a drive and you hit on a 40-yard play?
No, actually, it's the complete opposite. I wish we didn't need a flea flicker to get 40 yards, but we did, and it sparked us, and we got the momentum in that game, and we were able to finish. But that and Zevi's play where he kind of scrambles up the middle, and T. makes a great catch, and then we kind of threw one up, and Carter Paps, who is a great athlete, was able to go up and get his first touchdown of the season, which when I heard that after the game, I was somewhat shocked because he's done a really good job here thus far, and he's a guy that we know can make big plays and big catches, and it doesn't really matter the atmosphere and environment that he's in. He's always kind of ready for the competition and the moment in itself. So proud of those guys, and we need to continue to come out of the second half and sustain a drive, have success, make the most of defensive 3-and-outs and defensive turnovers in order for us to take the leaps and jumps that we want to in the second half like we have in some games in the first half. We just got to close them out.
Two cool milestones on that play, that Carter Paps touchdown, not only his first career touchdown, and his background's pretty interesting too, how he set the Kansas high school record for most receiving touchdowns. So he's no stranger to getting in the end zone, but the first one in his college career. And then Zevi reaches 10,000 passing yards in his career on that same play.
Yeah, when I saw that after the game, that's quite of an accomplishment. Yeah, give it up for Zevi. That's a lot of yards. I don't care where you play or what level you've played at. That's a lot of yards, and so congrats to him.
Well said there. Depth has continued to be tested on the defensive line the last handful of games. We saw Malaki Taase, among a number of other Cougs, step up. How do you feel that group has done, being fairly short-handed this last little bit?
Yeah, I'd say they've done really good because at times you don't even think about who's in there, and you really can't tell either. So the fact that they've come in waves in and out of the game, and we still continue to stay on course defensively. It's really impressive. Coach Bibbs and Coach Thompson have done a really good job of mending relationships in there, and those guys play for each other, and I think that you can see defensively the whole culture of the defense plays for each other. So the kids play hard, and they get an opportunity to get in the game. They got to make the most of it, and surely the D-line group has done that thus far.
On that note, I'm sure everyone on the sideline was fired up to see Jack Janikowski get his first career sack. Cougar legacy.
A lot of firsts this year in there. A lot of firsts. I like it.
It's great to see, and not only the newcomers, guys like Carter Paps, but guys who have been in the program and taken on bigger roles and seeing them have those firsts. But neat to see him, and he's continuing on that tradition of his older brother Dean of raising money to fight cancer, but a cool moment there with that sack.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I had the opportunity last spring to go to Jack's foundational ceremony that they have every spring to honor his mom, and it's a fundraiser, and it's a great showing, and when I heard that, I thought that's really cool, and then to see it to come to life and see how emotional he was about it, it's a cool story.
And then on the theme of first, Brody Miller makes a really nice special teams tackle, and this is part of the freshman class. We've already discussed Carter Paps, Brody Miller. We could kind of go down the line, but this is a lot of guys who are in their first year of college football who are coming in and making an impact.
Yeah, I think it's really important to give opportunities to the young guys, especially when they're well deserving of it. A couple of those guys you mentioned with many others are deserving of that opportunity, and they practice extremely hard. They're probably ahead of their years on growth and knowledge of where most freshmen are at their time, especially at the safety position with Demarius and Kyle Peterson and Brody. Those guys are going to be really special players. I've seen a special group just in this group. The three seniors are special players to me. And this group's ahead of that group as far as knowledge and overall scheme and probably fundamentals too. And so when Brody got that tackle, it's just a good sign of what is to come. There's a huge future here, and I believe that because of the players that we're going to continue to bring in. And I think it's really important to play freshmen just to keep them engaged and have them have the opportunity to make an impact in the game because they become more in tune to the week of practice and what it takes to have success because they could feel like they can get in at any moment. And to the course of this season, they can. I mean, with the amount of injuries, we got to rely on the depth of this team, and everybody's got to be locked in and be itching for their opportunity to get in the game. So when you treat everybody as that, they're kind of usually more ready than they would not be. And for the case for Brody, he's been itching to play, and he got his opportunity, and you'll see him again this week.
Well, he made an impact, no doubt about it, and out there on special teams. We're here with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. It is the Cougar Football Hour. We are live in downtown Pullman at the Lumberyard. Again, our guest tonight, safety Tucker Large, will stop by, and also we will have safeties coach
Pete Minich will have a preview to come of Oregon State. We'll take a timeout. More after this. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
If you use natural gas, you recognize its blue flame. But natural gas is actually invisible and odorless. That's why Avista adds a rotten egg scent in case there's ever a leak. If you smell natural gas at home, get outside fast. Don't flip switches or do anything to cause a spark. Go somewhere safe. Call 911. Then Avista. We'll take care of the problem and tell you when it's okay to return. Till then, it's a good excuse to visit the neighbors. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Hampton and Pullman is just a short drive from the Wazoo campus. They've got you covered for all your lodging and dining needs with the new addition of their on-site bar and restaurant, Crimson Bar and Bites. You will feel right at home with their spacious rooms, famous Hampton waffles, cozy outdoor patios, Cougar gift shop, and the friendliest staff in town. Visit HamptonbyHilton.com to reserve a room for your next trip to the Palouse. Coug owned and Coug managed. It matters where you stay. Hampton and Pullman. Hilton for the stay.
Your audio home for all things Cougar athletics is the Washington State Cougar Podcast Channel. Just search for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to follow and subscribe to the official podcast home of the Cougs. Hear our original WSU Athletics podcast, plus replays from the Cougar Sports Network, including football pregame and postgame show coverage, full football game broadcast, and coaches shows. Find it all by searching for Washington State Cougars on your favorite podcast platform to start listening today.
Cougar Football Hour is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman or find them at every coach's show this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. A reminder, every week we have the Inside WSU Athletics podcast. We are joined by Director of Athletics here at WSU, Ann McCoy. Our latest episode, it came out yesterday. You can find it on the WSU Cougars YouTube page or on the Washington State Cougars podcast platform. We were joined by Pac-12 Commissioner Teresa Gould. So a really fun, in-depth conversation with her and McCoy talking with Teresa Gould. So go check that out. Again, every week, Wednesdays, the Inside WSU Athletics podcast gets dropped. And we are back here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman with the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. And Coach, we've seen an uptick in chatter on social media around NIL and the university releasing their updated NIL website. That's coming up tomorrow. Can you discuss how NIL impacts your program and why it's important for Cougs everywhere to continue to grow that?
Yeah, I think it's really easy just to look across the landscape of college football. Some of the best programs in the country, you know, are able to continue to recruit and then retain top talent. And if we want to continue to have success here, just as many of us have witnessed, and we may not like it, but it is the reality of college athletics. Washington State has been hit hard in the past with the portal. So it's kind of wishful thinking that the reasons why those things will change unless we change them, and that's changing our situation on that platform and making sure that when we bring in top talent and we develop them, that we're in the position that they want to stay and want to be retained, but you can't take that for granted when somebody's willing to pay them the money that they're getting paid these days. And so for me, it's this place can't become a junior college where we're cycling through a player every other year. It will be really hard to create anything. So we have to be on board with every decision that we make as far as what we're doing and the steps that we need to take, forward to get into the college football playoff, to get into having a great team year in and year out, and not just one great team and then it falls apart because your team gets picked apart in the portal. Or just illegally recruited, because it happens. So there's several ways to make an impact. There's just the charitable donation through the CAF or joining the 1890 Club. All of those donations make an impact, not just on our guys' lives, but in the whole scheme of things, it allows you to stay really competitive. And if you're one that's against it, but you're connected to businesses, I would encourage you to connect your business through Playfly, because it allows our guys for new opportunities and things that they can make money on their own, but as well as just continue to have a great program here, not just in football, but through all athletics.
Well said there. And just to reemphasize the way that people can get involved and make an impact, a charitable donation to the CAF, joining the Cougar Collective's 1890 Club, and partnering your business, as Coach was talking about, through Playfly Max. So a lot of great different avenues to get involved there. And we've got our guests.
I would say this, too, because a lot of people think, well, I don't like the idea of paying for athletics. Athletics are the front porch to every university. They are the national logo that's seen nationally across the TV screens everywhere, billboards everywhere. And with Washington State having such a huge national brand, it's not just giving money to athletics. Athletics is creating the money for the fundraising and the branding that happens. It increases student enrollment, which increases, the revenue that the university gets. The more people that come here for games, it impacts the whole city of Pullman. It impacts the state. A couple years ago, Washington State was on College Game Day, and I don't know what year that was. Was that 19?
2018? Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but 2018, yeah.
Well, I just came from a place that wasn't very different in size and population, and when College Game Day came to Brookings, South Dakota in 2019, I think almost every business in the whole city made their quarterly goals on one day, because the amount of attention and the amount of fans and the amount of people that just infiltrate the entire community. Well, that could happen every single Saturday if we invest in it, and it can reward us back. And not just Washington State, but the whole city of Pullman and eastern part of Washington.
There you go. Yep, summed it up well there. And Coach, our guests here, I know we've got a player who has been a big part of things for you for a number of years, Tucker Large. He started as a walk-on at South Dakota State, and here he is flourishing at WSU after following the staff from Brookings here to Pullman. What makes him go from being a walk-on to having this outstanding career that he's had?
Yeah, I would say he's never changed. He's always been extremely competitive. He's probably the most competitive player that I've been with, outside of maybe the guy that recommended him, who's now the starting guard for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Same high school. They grew up at. Mason McCormick was high school teammates with Tuck and stood on the table for him to get recruited by us. We got to know him a little bit. He was playing corner in high school, just like an undersized corner, but had great coverage skills. And when he showed up at South Dakota State, we had moved him to safety. And it didn't take us long to see his talent. It was just teaching him the nuances of the scheme. He was just a young buck, and he got an opportunity somewhat due to injury at nickel, and then he was able to get in the game at safety. And we could see the skill there, but it was his competitive nature and how he went about his work. And then the more opportunities he got and us believing in him, I think he really grew into this wanting to try to get better and better and better. And I think it was his sophomore year, he became an All-American at safety, an All-American at punt returner, and then the next year he was an All-American again at safety. So he's been pivotal in our success, but I would say more than anything, he's created an edge to us as a defense, just the overall competitiveness and their belief in each other when he's on the field, and I think that's a sign of great leadership and just the overall confidence that he has in himself. Although he's 5'9" and some change, he's got plays really big, and he's physical, and he's an ultra competitor, and he'll have a shot at the next level after this, even though his disposition may not be something that wows anybody. If they give him a shot, he'll make a team, and I'm confident of that.
It's been incredible to see him in crimson and gray. It's been a lot of fun to have him as a Coug. Pete Minich, safeties coach. How would you describe what he brings to the team and the coaching staff?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to, Pete was a player at South Dakota State when I was coaching, had some injuries that kind of limited his opportunities, and ended up, sticking at South Dakota State, became a student coach with us. And so he grew from student coach really into a GA, and at the time in which the defense of scheme was switching and I was transforming it into what it kind of is now and what it's kind of alluded to or grown into, he was a part of that transition. And so he kind of learned it from the making of all of it. Then he had the opportunity to take a defensive graduate assistant spot at Northern Illinois. But then he ended up at Winona State where he was coaching the linebackers. And so he was working alongside, the safeties at the time at South Dakota State. But when he went to Winona State, he was coaching the linebackers. So he got the opportunity to learn inside of the system at both safety and at linebacker. He's been a great worker. His family's awesome. He is a really good teacher and cares about his players. And I think when you do things right, the right way, with full investment, good things can happen. And you could see it in his room. His safety group is maybe one of our best group of tacklers over the years for us, and largely due to him and what he's been able to create in that room. And then you can see the depth that's able to kind of mix in and on the field. And for Kyle Peterson to be where he's at right now, that's done with the investment of coaching. So I'm proud of him and the growth that he's made as a coach, and I think he's just going to continue to take strides in his own career.
Looking forward to talking with both Pete Minich and Tucker Large here tonight on the Cougar Football Hour. Coach, we'll let you loose for now. We'll have you back a little later on to preview Oregon State.
Awesome, thanks.
Again, that's the head coach of the Cougars, Jimmy Rogers, joining us here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour. A reminder, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. We'll take a timeout. When we return, we'll be joined by safeties coach Pete Minich. That's all after this. You're listening to Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Play, stay, get away at Clearwater River Casino in Lewiston, Idaho. Owned and operated by the Nez Perce Tribe. Experience Namipu hospitality with 600 gaming machines, comfortable lodging, dining, and sports bar. Excitement is everywhere. The region's premier destination for events and entertainment. Win big with unforgettable concerts, comedy shows, and live sports action. Discover your next play, stay, get away. Visit crcasino.com and start your adventure today.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No!
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your nature-made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
We're back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour, which is brought to you in part by Toyota. The Junior Cougs Kids Club, it is presented by Toyota, is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars. It is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. And also a reminder, you can listen to every Cougar football game and coaches show for free on the WSU Cougars Game Day app. We've got hoops season starting on Monday, and that goes for our hoops broadcasts as well. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Download the WSU Cougars Game Day app today. It is free, available now in the Apple App Store or Google Play. And we are joined by Pete Minich, safeties coach for the Cougars. Hey, great to have you here tonight. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's fun to be here.
Well, we appreciate the time, and here you are. You're in Pullman. You're part of this group that came over from South Dakota State. Let's rewind. Let's go back to the start. Where is home for you originally?
From Rock Rapids, Iowa.
Okay.
So small town in little northwest Iowa. Lived there for, grew up there, lived there for most of my life, and then transitioned to Brookings, South Dakota for college. So used to small towns, used to farm communities, so this feels very much like home, even though we're a little ways away.
And when you talk about home and kind of that familiarity, we've had Jake Minich on here before. It probably doesn't hurt to have a member of your family on the coaching staff.
For sure, it's a unique opportunity, one that I've had now at 3 different stops to coach with him, which has been awesome. It's cool for our family. It's cool just as kind of developing a friendship with him, even more so as professionals over the years. So it's been awesome.
So your coaching journey, and Jimmy Rogers alluded it to a little bit. You go to South Dakota State as a player, but partway through your playing career, plans change.
Yeah. No, you never. Obviously, went there with all the intention of having a great career, and got off to a pretty good start, and then kind of he explained what kind of happened, but never know what's going to happen. But you got to kind of make a decision and go full speed ahead with wherever life takes you and circumstance takes you, and that's kind of my story.
So when it seemed like, okay, it's going to be time to pivot to coaching, I mean, you went in full throttle?
Yeah, it was an emotional decision. Been playing football all my life, and it's something that I worked so hard for to get to South Dakota State, playing safety for them. But made a decision. I'm from a family full of coaches, and decided that if I'm going to do it, I'm not going to go halfway. I'm going to go 100%, and amazing what comes out of that.
We talked to Jake about the family full of coaches and kind of got at least his side of it. Take us through your side. I know it all coexists in the family tree, but what does that family full of coaches look like specifically for you?
Yeah, it started with my grandpa, Elmer Minich. He was, had a couple different college stops around the Midwest, and then kind of settled in as the head coach at Laverne High School in Minnesota, right on the border of Minnesota and South Dakota. So he did that for years, and heard over and over again the impact that he was able to make just doing that over time. And that inspired me, and it inspired, I have multiple uncles. That Jake's dad was a coach for a long time. I've got an uncle that's still a head coach at a small high school in Minnesota. My dad was the college coach for a few years, and got out of it because I cost too much money, I guess. So I've been very fortunate to be around that, and then have people to bounce off of ideas and thoughts and the things that you go through as a coach.
So you start as a student assistant at South Dakota State, and then you ultimately make your way back to Brookings, and then that brings you here to Pullman. Take us to kind of the in-between of what got you back to Brookings and how you kind of every rung of the ladder along the way.
Yeah, so my student coaching opportunity at SDSU is kind of unique because the 3 people that I really drew close to and mentored me in that time are the 3 people that have kind of hired me place by place. Went to NIU, Northern Illinois, with Dan Jackson. Got an opportunity to be part of an 0-6 season and a MAC championship season there. So just the turnaround with that was very unique. Brian Bergstrom hired me at Winona State. He's my safeties coach at South Dakota State. Trusted me to coach the linebackers, which was a unique experience, a good one for me. And then, Christmas that year, got a call from Coach Rogers and said that he was going to be the head coach of South Dakota State. Told me to talk to my wife and make sure that it was okay with her that we came back to Brookings, where we both went to college. And I said, we're probably good. Yeah. We're probably good. So, and then, just in those 2 years, I'm going to ride with him anywhere. So that's kind of what brought me here, and it's been an awesome experience so far.
That's fantastic. How is Pullman? I know Jimmy Rogers has made the comparison. There's a lot of similarities to where he's been in the Midwest and Brookings specifically, and we've heard that from some of the other coaches. Has that been your experience? How have you enjoyed Pullman?
Yeah, no doubt. Really enjoyed just the community. Enjoyed everything there is to do for my wife and my kids, and the community that it is to raise a family has been really special. That opportunity to kind of meet people along the way, people that live in Pullman, that live in Spokane and Seattle, and that come here for games, has been really cool just to kind of meet the Coug faithful and kind of relate it back to what I'm used to and the people where I'm from.
Well, we've got Tucker Large joining us a little bit later on the show, but we're excited to talk to you in the next segment, not only about Tucker Large, but all the guys that make up that position group that you work with, and all of them having a big impact this year. Again, that is Pete Minich, safeties coach for WSU, joining us here at the Lumberyard. We are live in downtown Pullman. It is the Cougar Football Hour. We will take a break. More after this. Again, it's the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes, with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
Alliant Employee Benefits is the Inland Northwest leader in employee benefit consulting and brokerage. Alliant is a difference maker, providing employee benefit solutions and problem solving while helping companies grow and protect their business. Alliant keeps its clients on the forefront of the benefit industry's constant evolution while improving the benefits experience for employees through better health outcomes and more cost-effective care. Give Alliant a call and see what they can do for you.
Download the WSU Cougars mobile app today, which features the latest news. Plus, it's your way to stream all of our Cougar Sports Network radio broadcasts. Listen to Cougar football, volleyball, men's and women's basketball, baseball game broadcast, plus coaches shows, all for free with WSU Cougars Game Day app. Take our broadcast with you wherever you go. Available now by searching WSU Cougars Game Day in the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is presented by Crimson and Gray. Visit them at 1096 Southeast Bishop Boulevard in Pullman, or find them at every Cougar Football Hour this season. Crimson and Gray, proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. Once again, back to the Lumberyard Food Hall in downtown Pullman. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Well, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. It is the Cougar Football Hour. We're talking about last week's victory over Toledo, 28-7 for Washington State. And, of course, Saturday's matchup as the team will head down to Corvallis, 4:30 kickoff at Reser Stadium. Our coverage with the Coors Light Cougar Tailgate Show. It will be Derek Dice and Billy Newman getting you started at 2:30 here on the Cougar Sports Network. And we are rejoined by WSU safeties coach Pete Minich. And you've got a heck of a group to work with. And we've got Tucker Large. He's going to be joining us in the next segment. Not to lump these guys together too much, but they come with this coaching staff from South Dakota State and just instant impact players at Tucker Large, Cale Reeder, and Matthew Durrance. No surprise they have made the kind of impact that they've had. How much stability have they brought to the team?
A ton. They're steady. They're calm. They're cool, collected players out there, and you can trust them to do the right thing. You can trust them to play extremely hard, and then you can trust them to take other guys along with them. And I think maybe that's the biggest thing that they've done so well with this whole transition in giving us a fighting shot to play good defense.
Where does it come from? Because the defense as a whole deserves a lot of credit for this, but those three guys in a lot of ways are right up there, either at the very top or near the top as tone setters. They play like their hair is on fire, and I know that phrase is used a lot, and every college football player, specifically on defense, wants to swarm and run around like their hair is on fire. Where does that come from with these guys? Because it is evident if you watch any game.
Yeah, I think it's a defensive culture. Coach Bobby does a really good job of kind of setting the tone with our defense, and I think us as assistant coaches, it's our job to, echo the sentiment of the head coach and then the coordinator, and then it gets down to each position group. And to really have a good unit, you need everybody working together, speaking that same message. And I think we have that in our staff, and then our players do a great job of hearing the message and seeing what it looks like on film and what it looks like at the highest level, and then doing it. So I think that's where you see maybe the not a ton of drop-off when other guys get in the game, because everybody's just playing hard, and we can fix a lot of issues if we just play hard on the other team.
Well, speaking of the other guys, we'll go with Deron Goodman, someone who has college football experience but is a first-year Coug, spent time at the junior college level. Before that, teammates with Parker McKenna at Portland State. A guy who is, again, in his first year here but has played college football. What has he brought to the team in his first year as a Coug?
Yeah, first of all, Deron's an awesome personality to be around. All full of smiles. Great for just the vibes of the room and the defense. He's really taken jumps. Really, I would say since the bye week has been really his big time. He got a ton of reps that week and really just kind of took it on himself to transform himself and to understand the defense at a high level. And, he's never too far away from Tucker Large and just asking a ton of questions and asking good questions now. He's kind of grown in that way. So he's going to be one to look out for in the future as well.
Kyle Peterson, how has he carved out the role he has as a freshman?
Yeah, it started when he got here early and got the news that, he wouldn't be participating in spring ball, what he came here to do. But he didn't let that slow him down. He attached the hip with Cale Reeder, which has been pretty well documented, and learned as much as he could about the defense. And he's done a really good job learning the position at both spots, free safety and strong safety. He's also knows the dime, so he's multiple, which is rare in a young guy. That just comes from watching a ton of film, asking a ton of questions, and trusting guys in front of you to, get you right.
Those are the safeties we've seen on the field the most. Who are the other guys you want Coug fans to know about that you're working with day in and day out?
Yeah, so Trey Ridley's done a really good job. He's been on all the special teams. He's a big, long kid that, has a ton of versatility for us that I think you're going to see in the future. Demarius Russell does a really good job. He's played in a couple games. He's got a couple games left that we got to be strategic with. Brody Miller had an awesome tackle the other night. K.O. Patu's getting better all the time. So we've got a ton of guys that are sitting there in that room that, are going to continue to improve. And when these seniors leave, they're going to take it full swing. And while we still got them, they're going to keep being a sponge. So I'm excited for the room.
Really good balance between the seniors and the upperclassmen who are delivering in a big way and the youngsters who are getting out there and certainly showing flashes. Okay, let's look forward to Saturday. What kind of matchup is this going to be for your position group, the safeties, and for the defense as a whole going up against Oregon State?
Yeah, I think Oregon State will be hungry. They've got a ton of talent. They just they'll put it together, I'm sure, over a bye week with kind of a new situation. And we know that they're going to be hungry to go try to get another win at home. And we are attacking it the exact same way that we've attacked every other week. It really doesn't change. Who's on the other side. It helps when it's a conference opponent. We're excited to go play them. But it's the same process. We need to come to work every day at practice. We need to come to the game focused, and we need to play harder than them. And at the end of the day, we'll hopefully get it done, and we'll put it all out there for sure.
Looking forward to it Saturday in Corvallis. Pete, thanks for being here. Appreciate the time, and best of luck, of course, on Saturday and the rest of the season.
Yeah, appreciate it. Go Cougs.
Again, that is Pete Minich, safeties coach for Washington State, joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. We will take another break. When we come back, we're talking about these safeties. We'll be joined by one of them, Tucker Large, will join us, and then a little bit later on, we'll have Jimmy Rogers back up here, the head coach of the Cougs, as we preview Oregon State. More after this break. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. Rural communities face unique healthcare challenges. By providing hands-on opportunities for WSU students in health sciences, nursing, pharmacy, and the LSNS Floyd College of Medicine, Pullman Regional Hospital is helping to shape the future of local healthcare. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
If we know anything about Cougs fans, it's that a win isn't all you're hungry for on game day. So Northern Quest has a full lineup of restaurants and lounges ready to face any appetite. Cheer on your Cougs with craft beer and cocktails in front of Epic's 10 by 30-foot screen. Grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, or tackle a burger at Fat Burger, before it tackles you. Full menus at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes every moment cheering on your team even better. Plus, the mountains on the bottles and cans turn blue when your beer is Rocky Mountain cold. So you never have to guess if your Coors Light is ready to drink. So crack one open, take a sip, and enjoy the game. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride and donations are made back to Cougar athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan by helping them grow their money. So does the card support the Coug fan or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
Back. It is the Cougar Football Hour. We are live here. Another great crowd at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. A big thanks to our host, the Lumberyard, here in downtown Pullman. Whether it's a Cougar football home weekend or any time, an awesome stop to come by. So many options to enjoy the food here at the Lumberyard. And now we welcome in WSU safety Tucker Large. Tucker, thanks for being here. You're a first-year Coug.
Yes, sir.
You're no stranger to college football.
Yep.
How is life as a Coug?
It's been really good. It's easy to come be a Coug when you got a diehard community like this, so it's been great.
Well, you know your audience here, and that is 100% true, and we're in front of a room full of great Cougs. Your path, you came to South Dakota State as a non-scholarship player. What does it mean to you to be at this point in your career where you not only thrived and earned tons of well-deserved accolades at South Dakota State, but here you are having such a big impact at WSU?
Yeah, obviously just being a walk-on at South Dakota State, I've always kind of had that chip on my shoulder. So I spent the last 4 years there. Obviously heard the news of like our staff coming here. They asked me to come, and it's been great. I wanted to join them and do something special here. So.
What was your recruitment like out of high school? We heard Jimmy Rogers' version that Mason McCormick really pounded the table on your behalf. But for you, it's amazing how, handful of years into it about how great you've been as a college football player. And yet when you're trying to find that first spot for college football, there's probably not as many suitors as you were hoping for.
Yeah, coming out of high school, definitely wasn't as recruited as I wanted to be. I had some local D2 scholarships. I was even thinking about even playing basketball. I just really wanted to maximize my ceiling, so I thought it would be football. The SDSU staff had reached out, and Coach Rogers, and really gave me that opportunity to walk on and fulfill my dream of playing at the Division I level. So.
In football, you didn't play football as a high school freshman. Why did you not play that year?
Yeah, kind of like I just said, basketball was my first love. I grew up playing AAU basketball. All my friends played it. Kind of got to high school, and I was like, what do I want to do? Didn't want to really play football. Just wanted to play basketball yearly round. My brothers were really pushing for me to play football. Mason McCormick, he was kind of like an older brother to me as well, really pushing me. And then he really forced me to my sophomore year of high school. So,
if we take the entire Cougar football locker room and we create a basketball team, and there's a starting five, are you on that starting five?
I would like to put myself. I don't know if everyone else would agree.
I believe you. I believe you.
I would, for sure.
Who would be some of your teammates?
I played a couple pickup basketball games this summer. Jamori Colson, he's a hooper. Needs some size.
Adam Olafale, 6'7".
I was just going to say either Moeller or Bo Baker. I know they got some basketball background. Maxwell Woods, I know he had a Division I scholarship for basketball. So there's some dudes. I played with Trey Ridley as well, and he's a good defender. So I don't know about a basketball player, but he's a good defender. So.
We got a multi-talented team here.
For sure.
And just looking at your time at WSU, obviously so many highs at South Dakota State, winning the national championship, getting All-American honors. This year, what has been the highlight for you to this point? And let's hope if I ask you this question in a month or two, there's a different answer. It's still to come. But what has been the highlight for you?
The highlight of this year is really just to experience something new. I spent 4 years I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so I spent my whole life in South Dakota. Spent 4 years there in college and really just trying to test myself of how good am I. I played at the FCS level, like I said, the last 4 years. So I'm going to be going against the best talent in the country, so why not come here with a staff I already know in a community like this to go out and play football. So.
And Jimmy Rogers gave one of the highest compliments that I could imagine he could pass along to the player, saying that you were up there with anyone as the most competitive player he has coached. Where does that come from? And he's coached hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We could go his whole career, probably 1,000+ guys as a head coach, hundreds and hundreds. Where does that competitiveness come from where in a sport that is ultra competitive, you were at the top of the pyramid in his eyes?
Yeah, I come from a family of all boys. I got 3 other brothers. I'm the second youngest, so just growing up in a household like that, you find the competitiveness. And then obviously being an undersized kid my whole life, kind of always just had the chip on my shoulder, just wanted to prove everyone wrong. So.
I believe Jimmy Rogers, talking about his own background, used the phrase he had to fight for his fries as a kid. Is that the same for you?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
That's fair. You're a senior. What are you studying? And what, as Jimmy Rogers was saying, hopefully there's football beyond the college level in front of you after this year.
At South Dakota State, I was studying business. When I transferred over here, all my credits didn't transfer, so I had to switch my major. It's social science now. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with that, but I do want to get in the housing industry someday and do some real estate stuff. But if football does still work out, I'm going to just try my best, finish off the season strong. Hopefully I can get some turnovers to add to those stats. So, and ultimately just play at the next level. So.
Well, Coug fans will be cheering for you not only the rest of your time in crimson and gray, but what is to come for you after that. And what is to come for you, I mean, what is guaranteed right now is 4 more games.
Yep.
The November is a huge month. It's November 1st, Saturday there in Corvallis. What does that mean to you, knowing that this is the final push of the regular season and you and your teammates are battling for the chance to potentially have more time after that?
Yeah, just really taking everything in. My career's coming down to an end, and really just showing up every day with a smile on my face, knowing I'm not going to get these moments back ever again. So just trying to soak up all that and just enjoy the time I have right now with all my teammates.
It has been truly impressive to watch you in a Cougar uniform. Continued good luck and success out there, and it's been great talking with you tonight. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much.
Again, that is Tucker Large, WSU safety, stopping by the Cougar Football Hour. Here we are live from the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we'll be rejoined by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers, as we preview Saturday's road matchup with Oregon State. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.
Imagine waking up in a place where spectacular views change every day, where unforgettable memories are made every night, and where the journey is far more fun than your destination. Now stop imagining and go RVing. Coach Walden here for my friends at Valley RV Supercenter in Kent, the Northwest premier Jayco dealer, the affordable RV dealer and proud sponsor of Cougar football. So whether it's a family weekend on the coast, a winter in the desert, or a tailgate party in the Palouse, your journey begins at ValleyRVSupercenter.com.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
As proud Cougs, we always find our way back home. At McVeigh Brothers, we want to help all Cougs improve the value of your home. Hello, I'm Mike McVeigh from McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows, a proud supporter of Cougar Athletics. The team of professionals at McVeigh Brothers take great pride in helping our customers remodel their homes with new entry doors, rain gutters, siding, roofing, and windows. At McVeigh Brothers, we're working for you.
When putting in a tree or fence post, we all hate it when our shovel hits a big rock. But there are worse things to come across, like a natural gas or electric line. Nowadays, buried utilities are everywhere, some just below the surface. That's why it's the law to call 811 before you dig, to have your lines marked ahead of time. It's free for Avista residential customers. So call 811 2 business days before you dig. You need time to pick out that perfect shrub anyway. Avista, we just want you to be safe.
It is the Cougar Football Hour. We are back at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman, and we are rejoined once again by the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. It is time for the opponent preview presented by Coors Light. Choose Chill, proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly. Let's dive into this week's matchup. The Cougs heading to Corvallis, 4:30 kickoff with Oregon State. Coach, it's the first of 2 with the Beavers this year. It's not been the season they had hoped for to this point of the year. They're looking to change the narrative on how their season has gone. They're coming off their first win of 2025 and a bye. What has stood out most about the Beavers to you in getting ready for this game?
Yeah, I just think that they've made a couple errors inside of games that they were close. And, I mean, the game of football is fickle. So if you give another team momentum, they can run away with it. And overall, they're a good team. They got good skill on offense. They can make you pay if you're not locked in, and we need to come out and play our best football and really focus on the things that we need to need to improve at and go take, that action out on the field.
Coaches typically don't like unknown, and for Oregon State, they recently made a coaching change. Rob Akey, very familiar, of course, to Cougar fans from his time here on the staff and defensive coordinator. He's the interim head coach. And then with that, they've been evasive on whether it's going to be Malik Murphy or Jabari Johnson who's going to be their quarterback. So they've got the bye week to maybe this staff to put their fingerprints on things more. Rob Akey's more personal touch. And they haven't been public about who their quarterback's going to be. What is that like, having that unknown?
There's a good amount of film on both of the guys. It's just going to be maybe they have a package for both of them, and it's kind of uniquely different. We'll find out. But overall, we got to just be locked in when they're in there and their skill set and what they're good at, and not let them exploit us as a defense. We got to all do our jobs and lock into our keys and go out and execute.
Jabari Johnson saw more of the action in their last game in the second half at quarterback in their victory over Lafayette. They kind of pulled away from Lafayette in the second half. Is it fair to say his legs are one of the top attributes that he brings, and that was on display for them in that game?
Yeah, I would say so for sure. There's spurts in other games too where he flashes with just his athleticism and how they utilize him. He's going to run the ball a little bit more, and they don't put a ton on his plate, but he has the talent to do so if need be. So we need to make sure that we take the proper angles, keep leverage on the ball, and not give up explosive plays. And I think if we could do that, we'll have success.
What do you feel like are the main strengths for the Beavers, even though they might not have the number of wins they would like? There have been some awfully close ones. Houston, Fresno State, they've been right there in there to have, much better record than what shows right now.
Yeah, I think, momentum in a game, when they've been able to be in the swing of things, you can see how really talented they are when things are hitting on all cylinders. It was just a couple weeks ago that we were in the hotel and we had the opportunity to watch them versus Houston. And that game ended up going into overtime, and they were extremely competitive, and things just got away from them there. But overall, I think they're really good at running the football. Their running back, Hankerson, is a really good player, and then they have a dynamic threat in Trent Walker, a longer, older, mature wide receiver that does a good job with, high-pointing the football and utilizing his length.
Couple notes on those guys. Anthony Hankerson, the last game that Oregon State had, he rushed for 204 yards. That is the sixth most rushing yards by an FBS player this year. And then Trent Walker, last season, the Cougs were in a tooth and nail right to the end of the game battle with Oregon State. Beavers won it by 3. Trent Walker in that game had over 130 receiving yards. So not just guys who are making an impact this year. They've been around the program and playing at a high level.
Yeah, I think, there's spurts of old and young, especially on their defense, and just having Jeremiah Noga on our team and kind of giving us a little bit of insight of not necessarily scheme or anything like that, but more so his experience there. He never spoke negatively about it. For him, it was about the opportunity to play. We gave it to him here, but he would, it was hard for him because there's a lot of close relationships on that team, and I think if you're really close as a team and you have relationships, you'll care about how you play, and the guys will always have the opportunity to respond. And, they made the coaching switch, whether I agree with it or not, and they got their first win, versus Lafayette, and they had an opportunity to grow as a team, under new leadership and take it upon themselves to become a new team when they come out. So, I think that's somewhat unique in college football, right? UCLA just did it, and they kind of went on a run there. So we got to come out and play on edge and get ready to dominate a game.
4:30 kickoff at Reser Stadium in Corvallis. Cougs taking on the Beavers. We'll take a timeout. More for the Cougar Football Hour live here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman after this. You're listening on the Cougar Sports Network.
So yeah, I used to be the Headless Horseman's go-to jack-o'-lantern. We'd haunt the countryside, spook the townsfolk, legendary stuff.
But then he heard about Northern Quest's
$60,000 Heads Will Roll giveaway. Yeah, I know. And now he's off using his Camus card to rack up entries for the $30,000 grand prize this Thursday. Dude won't even text me back now. Then again, ghosting is kind of his thing. The Heads Will Roll giveaway, only at Northern Quest.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, No, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Dear Traction, Toyota has 25 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. The RAV4 has legendary versatility. The Grand Highlander's adult-sized third row is for real. And the Tacoma's wild side comes standard. From job sites to campsites and game nights, there's an all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive Toyota to get you there in style. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
It is the Cougar Football Hour. We are back here at the Lumberyard in downtown Pullman. And a reminder, next week it is a bye for the WSU football program, which means we will have no Cougar Football Hour. But we will be back here 2 weeks from tonight, another Cougar Football Hour, as we gear up for the home game against Louisiana Tech. That's on November 15th. We're back here with the coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. We don't have a lot of time, but Coach, it is Halloween coming up here. I don't know. You've got a lot going on, so it's maybe not on your radar a ton. You also have kids, so I know it's on your radar a little bit. How is it knowing, okay, it's Halloween, everyone's got their costumes picked out?
You know, typically as a staff, we'd open up our building and we'd have a kids' night for home games. So if it was a home game, we would be having trick-or-treat probably in the office on a Thursday. But my kids are back in South Dakota right now with my wife, so they're trick-or-treating with Grandma and Grandpa right now.
Okay, and the costumes?
My daughter is a cowgirl, and my son is the Big Dumper. So he became a huge Seattle Mariners fan this last spring and summer.
Cal Raleigh, I bet he's going to get some good candy. Both of them will get some good candy with those costumes. That's awesome. And for Halloween, Cougs hoping for a victory over Oregon State to get November started. As always, appreciate the time. Can't wait to be back here in 2 weeks and looking forward to the game on Saturday.
Awesome. Go Cougs.
Again, that is the head coach of the Cougs, Jimmy Rogers. We ran out of time to get to our audience questions tonight. Apologize for that. We'll get to some more 2 weeks from now. Big thank you to everyone who makes this possible. For Jerry Kylo on the audio side, for Jared Pringruber on the video side, for Zane Saggio back in our Cougar Sports Network studios. That will do it. Again, Saturday, 4:30 kickoff. Our coverage on the Cougar Sports Network will come your way at 2:30. Cougs against the Beavs. Go Cougs. Talk to you then. You've been listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Cougar Sports Network.